There he is.
Oh man, what you doing?
just dancing away, just waiting.
I thought this was a new workout or something. I was like, man, maybe I should hit this while we do the podcast.
Just kind of just starting up, just waking up.
All right.
Well, yeah, we're just kind of doing just a quick video. We kind of let people know that we're going to be doing this on our newsletter and our kind of Facebook channels and stuff. So obviously they probably know me, Chris from Roadmap. And then this is Dustin Jackson of EasyN and Detail Bookie. Just kind of a quick intro of essentially EasyN is a single location detailing operation. You guys have a pretty moderate sized staff, a pretty good sized staff.
Yeah.
You guys detailing, doing ceramic coatings. Do you guys do tint and PPF?
No, we don't. We're just detailing and coatings. We're, predominantly marine, automotive, do some industrial detailing. So
awesome. And then I know you from Detail Bookie, which is, a service that essentially could make a lot of these guys' life easier.
Absolutely.
Would you mind kind of just giving, for anyone who doesn't know you or who Detail Bookie is, would you mind kind of just giving a brief overview of essentially what Detail Bookie is?
Yeah, not at all. So, I mean, like you mentioned, I'm Dustin on EasyN. And the reason that Detail Bookie exists, it's a software that's designed to run detailing businesses. But the reason that it exists was because my detailing business needed something to organize and help, organize the schedule, online booking, and really structure the pricing. When I built the software, I wanted more organized pricing that didn't require myself to give all the pricing out, because if I had to go, if I had to give pricing on every job, that tied me to the shop, that tied me here, and I couldn't grow only so much, because that's what I was going to be doing all day. And as one person giving pricing, that's all you're going to do, and you can max out. So I built the software, Detail Bookie, to manage and run my shop. I didn't build it to sell to detailers. I had no intentions of taking it to market. I think maybe deep down, I knew that if it did good, I would consider it. But when I built it to just run my shop. And we were mobile detailing at the time and shop based. So we built it to handle both of those scenarios. And then ran my shop for a year and a half with what we call version 1. And then went back to my lead developer, and, it had done so well. I mean, it took our business, literally to the next level. As far as, we had paper tickets that were all over my office, pinned to days and stuff. And, the disorganization, the lack of communication with customers that we were struggling with, it eliminated all those things. It solved so many problems that we didn't even know that we had. And so it took that business to the next level. And so I said, let's commit and see if we can take this thing out there and see if other detailers can benefit as well. And so what you see now is, version 2, along with a lot of updates from then. But yeah, that's Detail Booking in a nutshell. Is the software that manages your online booking, your scheduling, your pricing, customer relations. So all of the messaging going back and forth to staff, going back and forth to customers. So.
Yeah, and just for full transparency, I reached out to Dustin and his crew because we integrate with a lot of our sites through stuff like Urable and always Detail Bookie, and I see guys use your software and they usually have a lot of success. So here's an example of a site we built. We typically mix the call to actions of like book immediately or schedule now, call today. And when either A, we'll drive them to a phone call that we track, or B, we'll drive them to your software and kind of start that booking process. And so just for anyone who's watching, I reached out to Dustin, because I just see a lot of the success that a lot of people are having in this scenario. So it's not supposed to be a pitch about Detail Bookie, but, we're a fan of a few of the softwares out here. And, you're one of the very successful operator that built something that's out there for a need, essentially.
Yeah. And a lot needs to be said about these other guys too. You're able, NodeFS, Mobile Tech. They've got good softwares, they got good programs, and and there's the right fit for everyone. Detail Bookie, we took a unique approach with it. When we built it to run a business here, and it was from the ground up. We didn't take anything existing. So a lot of the nuances that happen within detailing they really show up if you have a software that's not built specifically to run this type of business. Yeah. And so, like our online booking platform, we took a complete different approach to the way that vehicle sizes and categories can to determine the pricing that's attached to that. So a lot of work was done there to make sure that that works and works well, and it's not just like an e-commerce site that you can add a quantity of one package for various sizes of of vehicles. Now we can let the customer to dictate what their vehicle size is, and then that dictates the pricing that they see and the and add-ons and that kind of stuff.
So if I'm a new detailer and I'm coming to you, I mean, I'm assuming the biggest advantage coming to you and using software like you guys have is, I assume, time savings more than anything.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's in the learning curve. One of we all know the most common question in these detailing groups is how much would you charge for this or how much would you charge for that? As a new detailer, they have no clue, and we're all like, well, you should know your expenses or you should know what it costs you to do this job, and they should. But here's the thing, we all have to start somewhere. And so within our software, we give them the tools to help them figure those things out. We give them preset packages that are, ideas of, hey, this is some ballpark pricing of what people are charging for this particular add-on, for this particular, sedan or SUV, for this type of package. And it comes preloaded with this stuff that they can then edit with ease. So if you're a company that's been running for 10 or 15 years and your pricing's dialed in and you want it to match perfectly, it's real simple. I mean, we can, our onboarding team along with your team can go in there and quickly update all of your pricing to match and packages. And if you call it, 2-bucket method or foam bath or whatever, all that stuff's very easily editable throughout, one change through the whole system. But for the new guys, I mean, this is where we really excel at with the new guys is because they don't have anything. And so if you give them this blank slate, they're still as lost as they can be. I don't know what packages I need to offer yet. You kind of have an idea, but, and so we really help those guys, educating them through the process and getting them on the software. They get the starting point.
Gotcha. No, that makes sense. Would you say, I mean, if I was just to kind of put you on the spot, what would be the top few mistakes that you see detailers make? Do you think it's exactly that they don't know their pricing?
Yes.
Someone just asked, why is Chris smiling? Because I'm listening to what Dustin's saying, and it's like we see
hear it every day. Yeah, I mean, we hear it every day. They don't know. It's the business side of things. Okay, detailers as a whole know how to polish a car or wash a car, mostly, and and instead they really need to understand how to run the business side of things and understand cost and understand time spent and understand that their time is money. If you're not paying yourself, if you're not charging enough to pay yourself, then the business doesn't scale, it doesn't grow, and you're encapsulated there. And it won't be long when you're working for free that you won't be working at all. It's not fun to do this stuff for free or lose money. So
right.
It's these detailers really need to have a basic understanding of how their business should work. And as they're coming up, you don't have to know it all. You don't have to be, all the ins and outs from the start, but you at least have a basic understanding of your expenses and overhead and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, at least from the website side, we force them to at least start picking, hey, what is a detail? What is a paint correction? What is a coating to you? Yeah. I think probably your software, especially as well, kind of says, hey, you're going to send a quote, you got to tell them what you're going to do.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, and it breaks it down for them. And so, a lot of guys, the full detail, and this is always, and look, there's a lot of guys offering it still. So I'm probably going to rub somebody the wrong way. And I don't mean to, because I offered full details for years. So guys, I've been right there. But how can you determine? So I'm going to give you a full detail. Okay. Full detail. Inside and out. So why the inside and the outside doesn't get dirty, doesn't get, they don't get the same level all the time. So how can you offer a full service to the same, from the interior and the exterior and not know what both of them need? So we break it down. You do the inside. Okay. What does the inside need? That's what you price. This is what we're doing. Let's break the outside down. This is what we're doing. And now the customer gets a service that's right for each portion of their vehicle. And it's not just a full detail. Well, because the first thing you say, well, mine don't need shampoo, or I have mats, or mine doesn't need, so we broke those things out as an interior service or an exterior service. And for the guys that really still love the full service, I mean, we have a package that's available, but we're helping steer these detailers into a successful business model by doing things that make sense. And trust me, we get fault all along the way. But once they start to use the system and realize, okay, it makes sense. Here's the ticket that shows exactly what I'm doing. It explains to the customer, this is why I'm charging what I'm charging, because here are the list of services that we're providing underneath. And it sure helps when they start the negotiation tactics as a customer trying to give you, what they are willing to pay. And, I always look at our tickets and say, well, what out of these do you want me to take off? What service do you not want me to provide so I can match your budget? And it gives you that to go with.
Yeah, no, that absolutely makes sense for sure. Kind of gets them really in line. And I'm just kind of showing people essentially, this is Austin's website, which, I didn't even tell Austin or yourself you were going to show it. But this kind of really helps essentially shows the customer of like what packages he's offering for his size vehicle. And someone can pick and clean all these services. I didn't even know, honestly, from our side, that someone can actually add on and option out themselves, which I will say this just from an outside perspective, that's fantastic because it soft sells separately on its own. You never know. You can't pitch pet hair, ozone, 1 year, headlight. You never
remember all that. And they sell themselves. And here's one of the arguments that we got. And I even made it myself, is customers are going to lie. Okay, they're online shopping. They're going to lie and say that they don't need the shampoo or whatever. Well, two things. First of all, they're also going to lie on the phone. Okay, customers are going to lie to you on the phone and say it's not that bad. How many of us, it's not that bad. It just needs a good coat of wax. Okay, we all know that's bullshit. Okay, so they have the opportunity to do the same thing online. The second thing is online, they're not lying to you. They're lying to themselves. So what we've noticed is people are more willing to be more accurate with what they have. And because it makes no sense. If in your package description it says, if your car looks like this package isn't for you. Okay, and they check that, then they're lying to themselves. So they'll do it. They go pick what they need, and then they get an accurate price. Now, those add-ons that you were talking about are specific to that vehicle type. So if you had a truck selected, and it would offer up truck bed cleaning, it wouldn't offer, vacuum the trunk. Okay. And these things are specific to Detail Bookie. This is not something that, some of these other software companies can't support because the add-ons aren't filtered or aren't decided by the vehicle types. And that's one of the things that makes, our software unique.
That's pretty cool. I didn't know that.
Yep.
And if somebody's running maybe a landing page discount, you can apply a discount code. That's pretty cool. So you can track stuff if it's kind of know. The biggest thing here, guys, is like, Dustin's, a big purveyor of just like trying to make your life easier.
Yep.
Make your business operate at a higher level. Same thing with our sites. And we see it time and time again. We see time of once I know I can't get a hold of a detailer, like, hey, how's the website doing? And they are integrating a CRM. I'm like, and if I don't get them to call back, I'm like, this is going good,
Exactly. And listen, you guys have been awesome. I mean, and having that sell site first. Our software doesn't sell. Okay, they've got to be sold first. So having a great website that works with our software, I mean, they just go hand in hand. When you're directing them to a landing page or to a nice site, and then somewhere for them, that customer say, yes, I'm sold. Now I want an estimate. And I know you're a fan of the form fill out, and I know that there's that time and place or the phone call. But, I've been able to eliminate a lot of that callback, a lot of those phone calls by having an online booking platform that's accurate, that helps those customers that want to shop online, that want to just do it themselves. Now they can get an accurate estimate. It's an estimate, just like you were going to give them over the phone. So just because it's done online doesn't make it any different than if you tell them over the phone or send them a text. And, I think that's some of that mindset that has to change in our industry. Is it's the same thing as you telling them it's going to be around about $200 or $1,000. Well, the same thing is when we give them an estimate, it's just that it's going to be somewhere around this $1,000. So it's not, this hard price just because it came in and has a list of services under it. It's still an estimate that has to be seen and approved by the detailer to be confirmed. So
Yeah, and I mean, I like the forms. But there is absolutely just a time and place for like if someone's ready to purchase today, you need to get them to a buy now, add to
Yes.
cart, pay, 100%. So that's typically, and I had a post this morning or last night of like we typically want to do a blend. So I really like when we use like softwares like your guys is like I want to give them an option to call. I want to give them an option to book online. I want to give them an option to fill out a form because I just don't know what type of customer it is. I
Sure.
think the majority of customers are starting to go to let's book it now, get it done. I think there's probably a tad hesitation at the $1,000
There
type
is.
tier, and I think they usually want a consultation or stuff like that at that level. But in terms of like sub 1,000, like let's get the money and go. If someone's really going to make a decision, why go through the form process? Why go through the email? Kind of all that stuff. So that's why we blend the call to actions for sure.
And you think about this. So yes, we see that hesitation for the first time customer. Okay, but once we've done the consultation, once they know how we do business and they want to get their wife or their husband's car brought in, and now I can go on and book online, or I want to rebook just a maintenance wash. I don't have to call Dustin. I don't have to message. I don't have to do that. I can go right on here, go log in with my cell phone, my phone number. I don't even have a password. Log in, key up, tell it what I want and book the job, pay my deposit, and now it's on the schedule and everything flows. And these guys that are, we deal with a lot of high end customers that their calendars are just full and they don't have time to sit around and talk to detailers for hours about stuff they don't care about. They just want their stuff shiny and clean. And
Yep.
they can go on there if they can have their, their secretary or their assistant go on there and book their jobs and we just show up and do it, or they just come here and do it, then we're saving them time and money, and and everybody's happier.
Yeah. No, absolutely. All right, so we're kind of coming to end of our time here, and you're a super busy guy, and everyone watching is super busy, and we'll save this and kind of essentially pump it out to the newsletter so people who can watch it later. In terms of if somebody wanted to get a hold of you guys, one is how do we get a hold of you? Two is do you guys have any like onboarding support or anything of that nature, or is it kind of just like here's a software, walk away?
No, man, we're polar opposite. We are hands on. Like, what one thing that we take a lot of pride on. First of all, I'm a detailer. I have a big detail shop. I know what it takes to stop and implement something new. It's not easy, especially as an owner operator like I was. The thought of stop, changing the way I do my, run my business to go in to adapt to new. I know it takes time and that you don't have a lot of time. So we have staff set aside just for that. We have an onboarding team. Christine heads that up, and she's going to make sure that you're there, that you have the tools that you need, that we're going to help you get set up. So it's very easy to do. We don't just dump it in your lap. We are here, and even after your trial, you have full support. Ryan is our sales manager, and all you have to do is go look at our reviews. Ryan gets mentioned in our reviews specifically about his customer service after sign up, after you've subscribed and went through your trial and all that. I mean, we're very, very hands on, and of course you'll have access to myself as far as detail questions, software questions. I mean, I've made myself readily available to all of our users and trial guys that are in trial. We also have an MVP group, our Detail Bookie MVP group, that you have to be a subscribed user to join.
Okay.
And the people in there are just fantastic as far as helping each other out. It's one of the best groups. I'm not just saying that's because it's ours. Partial, but listen, there's a ton of users in there that are just that literally they're sitting on go to help each other out, and it really makes me happy. And as far as finding us online, I mean, it's simple. Any social media outlet, we both Detail Bookie or EZN. If you're interested in software though, go check out detailbookie.com or on our Facebook, Detail Bookie, Instagrams. I mean, pretty much anywhere there's any social media outlet, we're definitely there. And
Okay.
so personally, you can look me up as well.
Awesome. No, I appreciate you taking a quick 20 minutes here, and
Yeah, man. I'm happy
I'm just happy to whatever business I can send you your way because CRM, like you guys are one of my favorites. You're both one of my favorites.
absolutely.
The more that we can help business owners just turn themselves into not a detailer, but a business owner or an entrepreneur, like they're just going to be happier. Their life is going to operate at a higher margin. They're going to take vacations. Like, the better detailers can do for themselves with software like yourself, it's just going to alleviate and help their business even more.
It takes the stress away, man. That's our job. Our job is to make this thing a little bit easier and more fun, and not so just jam packed stress all the time as the business owner. Take a little bit of that stress, automate it, let computers do what they can do, and then you go do what you want to do.
Yep. No, absolutely. Well, I appreciate you taking the time. We'll have to do it again for sure, and I'll have to ask you just weird questions and state of the union stuff and everything like that. So well, thank you so much, Dustin. I appreciate it. I'm going to end the stream here, and then go hit them up at detailbookie.com. If you guys have any questions about how we integrate with them as well, it's detailersroadmap.com as well. So awesome. Thank you so much, Dustin. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Chris. Good talking to you, buddy. Thank you.
Good talking to you as well.